Hello and welcome to Final Boss Fight. My name is Jeff, and once again, I am the keeper of arcane lore as we return to Masks of Nyarlathotep. I am joined by our band of investigators. I'm joined by Brian Croy Dragon.
Hello.
I am joined by Robin.
Oh yeah.
And as you may have guessed from our new opening credit sequence, we are very excited this evening to welcome Stanza to our little band.
Hey!
Stanza, tell us a little bit about who you'll be playing in our little adventure.
Okay, well, I'm going to be playing Martin Linwood, investigative reporter with quite a not insubstantial amount of occult knowledge.
Hmm.
Do-do-do-do-do.
That sounds great. I'm very excited to see how Martin Linwood gets on with our hapless band of misfits here.
I can't imagine any group with Flint in it being hapless.
Yeah. Well, with that, let's go to the recap. I'll give the recap this evening in the character of Carlton Ramsey, Jackson Elias's lawyer. Report on the ongoing investigation into the murder of Jackson Elias and the disappearance of the Carlisle expedition by me, Carlton Ramsey, lawyer and executor of Jackson Elias's will. Recording begins. Things are starting to move faster than I thought. The perpetrators of Jackson Elias's murder have been brought to justice, and I had hoped that would be an end to the matter, but it seems that this goes deeper than we all thought. The friends have taken ship to England, following in the footsteps of the Carlisle expedition. Jonah Kensington tells me that Denver Smith came to see him before they left, and Jonah was able to point him to Mickey Mahoney, editor of the Scoop in London. Similarly, Flintlock visited Captain Martin Poole, and was told to get in contact with Inspector James Barrington of Scotland Yard. And of course there was the card for the Penhew Foundation found among Jackson's belongings. Denver Smith also visited a local astronomer, Professor George Carrington, and learned some information from Jackson's notes. They seem to indicate a date, January the 14th, 1926. That is less than a year away. For myself, I was able to find someone in Jackson's little black book who may be able to help them. Martin Linwood, an investigative journalist, who Jackson met during his time in London. I've wired him to meet the friends at Waterloo Station on the 8th of February. I'm now waiting to hear that they made it safely. I have no idea what any of this means. I'm going to get another drink. Recording ends. And so it is the morning of February the 8th, 1925, and we're going to start with Martin, actually.
Oh,
I'm
what
going
am I up to?
move us to the London map, if this thing will allow me to. Roll 20 roll 20 while you're there we go. So it is the morning of February the 8th, 1925, and Martin, a couple of days ago, you received a telegram from Carlton Ramsey, Jackson Elias's lawyer, asking you to go to Waterloo Station for the 11:28 train from Southampton, there to meet Denver Smith, Tim Sullivan, and Flintlock. He didn't say what they looked like. He just said you will know them when you see them. So you're there on the at the platform at the station on the 8th of February, 11:28, and the train rolls in to the platform.
Oh, it arrived on time. Very good.
I know, it's amazing. This fictional world where trains arrive on time. You see the crowds getting off the train. It seems to be quite a busy time. And you're looking around and you see three individuals looking around as if waiting for somebody. You see one of them is wearing a fairly respectable business suit. One of them is wearing a leather jacket with a fedora. And the other one, in fact, the one who caught your eye, is a rather big, heavily built man, bushy beard, wearing what appears to be a poncho made up of a cat skin with the ears and the head as a hood. Similarly, for Tim and for Flint and for Denver, you alight the train. You're aware that you're meeting this person, Martin Linwood. You're not quite sure what he looks like, but yeah. How do you meet each other, Martin? Do you wave? Do you try and attract their attention? What do you do?
Yeah, I guess I'll wave and start to walk in their direction.
Be very careful, Tim. That person's approaching us. I don't trust them.
Yes, well, just be cautious.
They've got a shifty look in their eye.
Well, some would seem the same of us, but I'm not so sure.
I think we're perfectly normal, thank you very much. Especially me.
As you heft your burlap sack containing Loretta on your back. And straighten up your ears.
Yep. Gotta get them right.
I didn't notice them until now. Diegetic!
So, yes, you obviously meet up with each other. I think before you left Southampton, Flint and Tim, you'd have received a telegram from Carlton telling you to meet this person and he may be able to help you.
Excuse me there. I was looking for a Denver Smith, Tim Sullivan, and Flint Lock. Would that be you, Flea?
Yes. Denver informs me that shaking people's hands is customary, and Flint offers his big burly hand.
I take it.
Crush.
Oh, crikey, that's a good grip on ya. Just wincing with his hand, just like Martin Linwood. Not gonna forget a grip like that in a hurry.
That was very light.
I'll believe you. I believe you. Does not want to find out what is any stronger a grip it feels like.
And I've heard that it's customary to bring presents for people who you're meeting. And he pulls out a load of dead rats and just hands them over by the tails that he's been getting on the boat.
I think Denver's just like stood there with his head in his hands.
Wow, you have been busy. I'm not sure I can accept this generosity, to be honest. Just like mind racing, just like, are there any rituals that you need dead rats? Is there anything this might be useful for?
And you think you can see like your seagull feather popping out of the burlap sack as well.
Oh, someone's been missing.
Wait, did you say a seagull head?
Seagull feathers.
Oh, feathers.
Maybe a few legs. What can I say? It's been a long trip.
Well, you know how to keep your mind busy.
Denver says to you, I'm not feeling so great. Can we get to a hotel?
Of
Yes,
course. I assume I have a recommendation.
It's, well, do you want to go high-end or do you want to go barely passable?
How much? How liquid do these? I mean, Martin himself would be on the lower end, but
I think Carlton would have told you about the arrangement of Jackson Elias's will, meaning that there is a trust fund, and any receipts that pertain to the investigation, any expense that pertain to the investigation, will be recouped from the trust fund as long as you have the receipts. But there's quite a bit of leeway in that, to be honest.
Including fancy hotels, apparently.
Well, it's up to you to think what you can reasonably get away with.
I feel like I'd rather not immediately. Not immediately. Maybe.
The rougher, the readier, the better.
Gotcha.
These whole city places don't mix well with me. Never feel comfortable that too loud.
I see. Yeah, I see.
We can say that you're leaving the station as you're talking this and walking along the London streets, and I'd say it's quite easy to find a reasonably priced hotel near London Bridge, actually.
Ooh.
Tower Bridge, technically.
No, London Bridge.
No, what am I thinking of then?
Tower Bridge is the next bridge along.
Ah,
I was about to say I have no idea because I'm the only not non-British person here.
Oh, for some reason I thought you were from Mayfair originally. Out of character.
So,
Oh, right. Now I'm confused. I got confused. Wires crossed. Don't mind me.
London Bridge is location 27 on the map in front of you in the lower right corner.
mm-hmm.
And Tower Bridge is number 30, a bit further along the river.
Right.
And it's easy enough to find a reasonably priced hotel that still has clean rooms, comfortable beds, maybe offers breakfast in the morning. And Denver will just once you've got your rooms checked in, Denver will just go straight to bed. He seems to have eaten something on the trip across that has disagreed with him.
Oi, you look after yourself.
Scottish grumbling noises.
As you leave, you can hear him starting to throw up in the toilet.
Oof.
So,
travel sickness can
I
get
told
you.
you that we shouldn't have eaten those pork sandwiches on the train. That didn't seem right.
I don't think they were pork.
No, they were definitely pork.
You didn't put any of your squirrels in there, did you?
Nothing wrong with the squirrels. You were fine when you ate them on the boat. Speaking of which, bang! You're a squirrel.
So, London is before you, and it is 8th of February, so it is still somewhat cold. We can go the current temperatures. It's probably 7 degrees out, and you do see that it is quite foggy. You can see to the end of the street, but you can't see much beyond that. So this brownish fog that just seems to blanket the city. Martin, you would know your way around London pretty well, I would say. So, yeah, the whole of London is before you. Where would you like to go?
Now, I've been told I should investigate this Scotland Yard blokey. Barrington or something?
Oh, Barrington. If you're, as I understand it, interested in the same kind of business as I am, then he's likely to toss you out as a lunatic.
Well, you can try. But
Well, so look, try not to end up in a jail cell in your first night in London.
good thinking. By the way, just so you're aware, if you're going to potentially be with us on the long haul, how good are you in a fight?
What are the kind of rules about carrying firearms at this point?
You would need a license, but I ruled last time that British subjects would have a license.
Okay. Well, I guess I move backwards my jacket a bit to show a holstered revolver.
And you know how to use that pea shooter?
Reasonably. I'm no.
I was going to say, Flint's just going to pull the rucksack off his back, open it up to show, sorry.
The elephant gun?
The elephant gun.
What? Well, I ain't no sharpshooter like you or your friend back at the hotel, but I'm a reasonable shot.
Good. Keep it close.
So,
I'm just
to-
looking. I was going to say, I'm just looking at what other kind of leads we've got.
Okay. Yeah.
Got the Penhew Foundation and Mickey Mahoney, which is the Scoop. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've talked to him too. So,
I mean,
yeah,
that was out of character, but
Yep. Those are the three leads that I remember from last time.
have you got anywhere you feel like we should go first, Tim?
Yeah, not really. Besides, I don't really feel like doing any tourist things.
Hmm. And what would you recommend we do first? Our excellent guide.
Well, I'm personally inclined to the Penhew Foundation.
Very well. Shall we go there then?
Okay. The Penhew Foundation. You have the address on the business card for the Penhew Foundation, and you're able to. I think you probably grab a carriage or a car taxi to the one of those to the Penhew Foundation. It is a large building, a high Victorian building. It's taller than the buildings either side of it, but you look at the windows and you think to yourself, this thing only has a couple of floors, but even so, one of those floors must be absolutely massive. You go to the front door. The door is currently closed, but there is a bell and a knocker.
Bang, bang, bang.
Is that using a knocker or just using raw fist?
Raw fist.
The door opens, and it's a rather thin, reedy man who answers the door. And he pokes his head out the door. Hello there, yes, welcome to the Penhew Foundation. My name is Thomas Kinnery. How may I help you?
Oh, so you're not Penhew.
No, Mr. I'm sure you've read the news. Sir Aubrey Penhew passed away quite tragically a few years ago. He was on the Carlisle expedition.
Oh, yeah, sorry, that's me getting myself muddled up. Yes, well, we're actually investigating what happened to the Carlisle expedition.
Oh, really? In that case, perhaps you may want to speak to Mr. Gavigan. Please come inside.
Without even kind of waiting for him to offer to move out the way, Flint just barges past him, shoulders him.
Yeah, that is the director of London's Penhew Foundation. Something I noted down whilst going through handouts.
I'm gonna put
What was this guy called? Sorry.
This guy was called Thomas Kinnery.
No, the
Edward
guy...
Gavigan.
Edward
Gavigan.
Gavigan.
Not to be confused with a different Edward.
No.
I'm gonna put you down on the
Scissor
map
hands.
here.
Oh.
So
There we are.
That's the Syrinscape I'm hearing, the plinkety-plonkety. I'm thinking, what's that sound?
Suspicious piano. Suspicious piano.
Mr. Kinnery will say, Thomas Kinnery will say to you, Mr. Gavigan is busy at present, but if you wish to wait, please feel free to visit our exhibition room upstairs. We have lots of antiquities from Egypt, from the various digs we sponsor.
Very much.
Tim, this is your area of expertise. Didn't we find some interesting things from Egypt?
Yes. Okay, out of character, I forgot to, in my notes, to list the dynasty down. But, back into character, we have this Sphinx here.
Oh, Thomas Kinnery
Black
says,
Sphinx.
Sphinx of Black Quartz. He says, oh, that does look very interesting. I'm sorry, I'm not too familiar with the actual history of it myself, but I'm sure Mr. Gavigan will be delighted to see this. As I say, he will be
Yeah.
a few minutes, so please make yourselves at home. You can either wait here, or we have, as I say, we have our exhibition room upstairs.
Flint's going to go up to the exhibition room.
I'm
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
follow.
I'll take a look.
And at
You
some
go
point,
ups-
I'm gonna.
Go on.
Sorry, Count.
I guess while we're climbing the stairs, assuming there isn't anyone around, so like, Martin's gonna ask, so like, you aren't here by any chance about whatever it is. This is like, Alton, erstwhile Jackson, I uncovered while he was here, are you?
Oh, Mr. Elias, yes, I do believe he met with Mr. Gavigan. I'm not privy to the details of their meeting, I'm afraid. I will let Mr. Gavigan know you are here. Please enjoy yourselves as you are here.
Mm.
You go upstairs to the exhibition room, and this is a huge open space. You can see that the walls are finished in marble. The ceiling is about 26 meters high, and it is filled with Egyptian antiquities, mummies in cases, pottery, statuary, funeral urns, canopic jars, all arranged with little placards saying when they were discovered and what they represent. And Tim, you could quite easily see, without needing to roll anything, this is the real deal.
No fakes here.
In fact, Tim, can you make me a spot hidden roll, please, as you're looking around and inspecting these artifacts? Ooh,
Oh, fumble.
no. You're looking around and you just like smack into one of the pillars. Cause you a bit of a bruising on your head for a moment.
Well, at least it was a pillar and not like a plinth.
No, it is a pillar. In fact, it's one of these pillars in the center of the room here. And as you shake your head, in fact, I'm going to ask you to lose a hit point for that because that was a fumble. So I'm going to ask you to lose a hit point for that, because that was quite a nasty knock. It's like you're looking around and you just go whack straight into the pillar.
Bit of a bruise forming on your forehead.
Bit of a bruise forming on your forehead, yeah. As you're checking your head and looking around, something does attract your attention. You see a glass case nearby, and there's a few like statues of the various gods. But there's one small statue there, probably about a foot high. The placard says, placard reads, Pharaoh in black quartz, thought to be a depiction of Akhenaten, 18th dynasty, artist unknown, donated by Roger Carlyle, 1919. And you look at this image, this statue of this black pharaoh, and whether it's because of wear and tear over time or the lighting in the room, you can't quite make out its face. But it looks like it's got sort of this strange headdress that almost starts to cover its face with these strange strands or tendrils, and you look at it and somehow you get the feeling it's looking back at you. Can you make me a power roll, please?
Yeah. Hard success.
You almost feel yourself being drawn into this black void in its face, but you manage to pull back. But one thing you are certain of, this is not Akhenaten. And it is probably at this point... Well, what are the rest of you? What are the other two doing? Flint and Martin.
Flint would have probably been looking around for other things that he would have potentially thought would have been like similar to the black quartz sphinx, and anything else that they've discovered from us, or something from a similar sort of period.
You look around, and I'm not going to make you roll because you don't. The only item now that you see what Tim's looking at, you see the pharaoh of black quartz, and this is the only item that's similar to the sphinx that you have. You don't see any others. You do see that they've been brought back from various expeditions, which seem to be all funded by the Penhew Foundation. And
I guess my first order is to like anything that might possibly connect with sort of like the murders that Linwood's been following. Well, investigating.
You don't see anything there.
Yeah, it was a long shot.
Yeah. It's probably about this.
Needed.
It's probably about this point that you hear a voice behind you. Excuse me, gentlemen. I'm sorry I've kept you waiting. You turn to look behind you, and it's this very well-dressed man in this exquisitely cut suit. He has a pinky ring on with a ring on his little finger in this sort of Egyptian design. He has diamond-studded cufflinks, again with an Egyptian design, probably of Horus. He has a gold wristwatch. As I say, I'm sorry to keep you waiting. My name is Edward Gavigan. I believe you wanted to discuss some matters with me?
That's right. Pleasure to meet you.
Of course, the pleasure is all mine. The pleasure is all mine. In fact, have we met before? You seem familiar to me.
Out of character, have we?
To you, really.
I am very indecisive. Okay.
No matter. Maybe it's just...
I was going to say flintlock, and he's going to hold out his hand.
Yes, of course, and he just goes to shake your hand.
Crush.
He doesn't phase at all. He doesn't react at all.
Damn.
That's a very strong grip you have there, Miss Locke. I do like a man who's not afraid to show his strength. And you, sir, who are you? What is your name?
Tim Sullivan.
Tim Sullivan. Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Sullivan. I saw you looking at some of our artifacts. You seem to have an eye for these things.
Yes, I was formerly an armchair archaeologist. Now I'm just getting into the actual field.
Oh, well, I do hope you'll be able to grace us with your presence more. We are always looking for new members to assist us. Please, won't you come down to my office where we can talk more openly? And he leads the way back downstairs to a room, and as you enter the room, you see a very opulent office. In fact, everything is themed Egyptian. There are Egyptian wall friezes. There are Egyptian some small sarcophagi on tables, on plinths, on mantles. You look at the desk and you see the desk is very clean. There's probably a blotting pad there. There's a pen there, a notepad, but no actual like paperwork. Seems to be kept very clean. There's a row of closets along the north wall. Couple of large oil paintings, Egyptian pyramids, a view of the Nile. On the ground in one corner you see a safe. It looks like it's ajar actually, and as you walk in, Mr. Gavigan says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I'd closed that. Excuse me," and he goes over.
Before he shuts it, can Flint just kind of try and get a like sneaky eye of what's in the safe?
Give me a spot hidden, but I might have to ask for a hard one actually. I'm going to ask for a hard spot hidden from you.
Oh, helps if I had the sheet open. It's not like me to be unprepared like that, to be honest. Give me a second. Spot hidden was that?
Yes, please. Yep. Extreme success. You look, and as he closes it, you just see the flash of a £1 note. In fact, several £1 notes in the safe.
Okay. Would I get a rough idea of how much from that little glance, or?
It looks like quite a lot. I can't give you an exact number because
No,
you wouldn't
that's
see it in that time, but
fair
it
enough.
looks like a fair amount. And Gavigan says to you, "Yes, please have a seat."
Clint has a seat and he puts his feet up on Gavigan's desk.
How high is the
Gavigan,
desk? Are you like at an angle to do this?
Like leaning back, feet up on the desk.
and as you sit down, he goes, "Please, one of the advantages of not living in America is we don't have any prohibition laws. May I offer you something?"
Keep it coming.
Again, he's got
Whatever the
this
hardest thing you've got is.
he's got a globe in the corner, and it's like similar to what you saw in Carlton Ramsey's office, a globe that opens up to show like various bottles or various things, and he goes, "Well, this is a very fine Scotch. Had it imported I had it brought down personally by a very exclusive whiskey brewers. And may I offer you a drop?"
Of course.
And he pours out a small glass for each of you.
I was going to say, Clint's like, keep it coming. Keep it coming.
You're gonna get as much
No,
whiskey
thank
as you
you.
can.
I don't touch alcohol.
Oh, of course.
The Flint
Anyway.
grabbed Tim Sullivan's
Yep.
glass. Do you grab them both at the same time?
Oh no. You would savor it.
Ah.
So
He's not that much of a Philistine.
So, what is it you wish to discuss with me? Mr. Kinnery, my secretary, said you wanted to learn some information about the Carlisle expedition. Is that true?
Yes, yes.
What exactly would you like to know? I'll do everything I can to answer your questions.
Did Jackson Elias talk to you about the Carlisle expedition?
Yes, Mr. Elias did visit here when he was over in last November, I believe, if I remember correctly. He asked me about Sir Aubrey's participation in the expedition. It was only the one meeting, though. Let's see if I can. I might have something here about. And he opens the drawer, and you see him leafing through some sheets of paper and some notes. Ah, yes, this was it. Mr. Elias had some questions about the Foundation's involvement in the Carlisle expedition. Yes, the members of the Carlisle expedition. Oh, yes, they came over here in preparation for their trip to Egypt.
And go on.
He was only here for only like an hour, maybe two, and after that, I never saw him again.
And what was Mr. Elias's disposition like in the time that he saw you?
Difficult to say. He seemed very driven, as if I understand he was an author. Maybe due to his pressure on writing his book, but he did seem a bit driven.
Yes, he always was one to get very engrossed in his work.
But you also asked about the Carlisle expedition.
Yes. It was just concern over an old friend, that's all. So, they came to London.
Indeed, they did.
And they recruited, I'm assuming, young Aubrey.
Yes, I'm sure he would have been pleased to hear you say that, but no, they recruited Sir Aubrey in America, I believe. Yes, I understand there was a woman with them, who hailed from Africa. Mr. Carlyle seemed very taken with her. Apparently, she had some information about a dark, shadowy time in Egyptian history, and this coincided with Sir Aubrey's own interests. He'd been very interested about a time in which a sorcerer was supposed to have ruled in the Nile Valley. But the information turned out to be a hoax.
I was going to say, Tim's the Egyptologist within us more than me.
Yes.
He's probably got a bit more knowledge than I do on this.
Yes, indeed. I noticed a 8-foot-tall statue up in your exhibit. You claimed it was Akhenaten, but I've never seen any statue of Akhenaten that looks like that.
Oh, of course, that statue was very kindly donated by Mr. Carlyle. He had obtained it in America. Yes. Well, I know perfectly well it isn't Akhenaten, but I'm not entirely sure who it's of. But our members, the public, we do allow the public to see these exhibitions. They do like a bit of mystery. They do like a bit of uncertainty. They do like the idea that perhaps they know slightly more than we do. So we were happy to let it stand as possible. We say possibly Akhenaten, just to add that little air of uncertainty, air of mystery to it. Adds a nice bit of romance to it, don't you think?
You said he got it in America.
Yes.
In New York, perhaps?
I believe it was, yes. I believe it was his friend from Africa who pointed it out to him.
And
do we have a name for this individual?
Who exactly did he get it from? A smiling creep, perhaps?
I don't know the details. He didn't give me the exact details of it, but I had it evaluated by some of our top researchers and experts, and it is the genuine article. It was, even though we can't exactly place where it comes from or who it is a genuine article. But yes, the expedition spent some time. The members had spent some time here, and learning about the ways of Egypt. Sorry, sir. Yes.
Yes, I was just going to say, with Penhew being the founder of this
foundation.
Yes. What did the foundation provide for the expedition?
We provided funding, we provided training, and we provided lessons in the culture. In fact, we've had a few expeditions since then. We have an expedition out there right now in Cairo led by Professor Clive. It's very much a standard procedure that we do for anybody wishing to go out there. If the talk of the heat or talk of the rigours don't put them off, then we're happy to give them the training and resources they need, provided, of course, that they send us back a reasonable amount of their findings for our own collection.
That could be worth looking into at some point. We may end up, I don't know, way things are going, we may end up going over that way ourselves at some point, but
if you need any pointers or any hints on what to expect out there, please do come by.
Yes, we'll see where the trail leads us, but
although I must warn you that not all expeditions are successful. In fact, the Carlisle expedition itself ran into some difficulties. The woman, Carlisle's friend, in fact, some would say his lover, once they were out there, she absconded from the expedition. with their funds. I believe it's like something along the lines of £3,500 she ran away with. But Carlyle was happy to foot the cost of that. I think he is more affected by the betrayal of his companion.
She sounds like a nasty piece of work.
I couldn't say, sir, but
Do we happen to know the name of this woman at all?
I believe he called her Mweru.
Can I get a spelling of that, Jeff, please?
Sorry, yep, put that in the chat. Although I don't know if this was in the Roll20 chat. Although I don't know if this is her name or a title or a term of affection.
Well, we have a name at least, another name, because otherwise it's just been the dark-skinned lady.
And then, of course, the expedition took a tragic turn.
It was
following
Kenya, wasn't it? That?
Yes, it was. It was Hypatia Masters who suggested that they spend some time in the Kenyan highlands. She was looking for an opportunity to put her skills to use and maybe bring back some valuable photos of African wildlife, but alas, they entered. Well, they were in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they paid for it with their lives.
Is that a common thing for going out to Africa, or?
It has been known. We don't deal with Kenyan expeditions. Our remit is mainly Egypt, but we do exercise caution wherever people go. That there are dangers. It's always best to be on your guard.
I mean, I would be cautious in Kenya myself. I don't want to encounter any new Savo man-eaters.
I was under the understanding that the things that are unusual to the press they do, right? Well, so like Martin assumed it wasn't common.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Yes. I was just wondering, what can you tell us about this curio we came across, and Flint's going to show the Black Sphinx.
Avigan looks at it. Goes, "This is a very interesting piece. May I ask where you obtained it?"
New York.
Well, yes, from a Lester Goodman.
The name is not familiar to me, but it seems to be of a similar workmanship to the statue we have upstairs. If you'd be willing to donate it, I'd gladly accept it and offer it a prized place in our collection.
We'll hold on to that thought.
Yes.
I was going to say,
yes.
If and when our investigations have come to fruition and we kind of work out what we need, we'd potentially be willing to donate.
I look forward to it. Is there anything else I can help you with? We do have an extensive library if you're willing to donate to keep our expeditions running.
Yes. I mean, I don't see why we can't have a peruse of that at some point.
The donation is reasonable. £10 will grant you a year's access to our library to come and go when you please, even outside the opening hours of the Foundation.
Oi, Linwood, make yourself useful. Pay the man.
I believe the trust will cover this.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. You're very kind. I will arrange to have the library available to you.
Excellent.
and he shows you. It's this way. Come, this is this way, and he shows you this. He shows you the library, and there's like books, shelf after shelf of books on Egypt, all on different periods of Egypt. And yes, please feel free to come in whenever you feel like it, whenever you wish to.
It's very much appreciated.
And the exhibition hall upstairs is also open to you as well. Now, if you will excuse, if there's nothing else, I do have some matters that do need attending to. Again, the Clive expedition out in Egypt, amongst others. So, Mr. Kinnery here will show you out.
Flint allows himself to be led.
Flint takes mercy on this day.
Tim just follows.
But Flint is going to try and trip up Kinnery, but make it look like an accident.
I'm going to ask for a brawl check with that then.
Sorry, the chaos gremlin's not been let loose for ages.
You try and like walk and you try and trip him up, but he's just like too dexterous. It's like he's very nimble on his feet and trying to get around it.
Yeah, sorry, Jeff. The Chaos Gremlin's just not been released enough lately.
I mean, to be fair, your sanity level I think it's appropriate.
Bit of a twitchy fella.
He is a bit of a twitchy fella. And so with that, we return to the streets of London.
Once we're a bit out of earshot of the Penhew Foundation, Flint's going to turn around to the others and kind of ask, so, what are your thoughts on that Gavigan guy? I don't know.
No, I don't.
Something about his face,
know.
I don't trust him.
I think he might know a bit more than he lets on. That Pharaoh statue has to have been sold by Lester Goodman.
We're on the same page there.
Is it possible that Carlisle didn't pass on that information?
Possible, or
He
Gavigan
might not
was
have even suspected.
not willing to share it. I don't know. You had your suspicions about Goodman to begin with, didn't you?
I did.
Never mind, let's just tuck that tidbit away for the time being, shall we?
Just to orient you on your map, you are at location 9 on the map.
Yep.
Where would you like to visit next? It's probably about coming on for 3 o'clock or so, 3:30.
Well, it's a bit early for dinner, but I don't know. I should probably go see Mr. Barrington. Just let him know that we're about. He was recommended we get in touch with by who was it now?
So I take it you're investigating this Sphinx you got there?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just
Checking your notes, yeah.
yeah, I'm just trying to find oh bloody hell, what the heck was the policeman in America called again?
Captain Paul.
Pool. Thank you.
So you have a contact that might mean Baroning will listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yep. Just more as a courtesy than anything else. See if there's anything suspicious they might have heard as well.
Well, if you're looking for something suspicious, you might have caught me mentioning about sort of the murders that I've been investigating. Like,
Yes, you did mention something about that.
yeah, every month or so there's been a murder, but so like so like I have a little experience with so like no, with I've studied cults a bit, you know, so I think it fits with the kind of thing I've seen, but haven't met anyone who will take. Well, the only man who would take me seriously was Jackson Elias.
When you say there's been murders every month, this is echoing what we were investigating in New York.
Oh, were they Egyptian nationals as well?
They were certainly from Africa. Flint's gonna pull out a scrap of paper and he's gonna show the mark that was engraved in the bodies of Jackson Elias and everything.
I can find that. Just bear with me one moment. I'm going to use this one, I think. Is this the one you were thinking of?
That's the one I was thinking of. Did it look anything like this on their bodies at all?
Did they have any markings on them, the London murders?
It's hard to say. You never actually saw the bodies yourself. It's like only sort of thing you read about in the papers, and you started investigating them because they did look suspicious, but you never actually saw the bodies yourself. So, and the papers certainly didn't report anything like this.
Well, if it was, none of the papers reported on it, and I'm afraid I haven't seen any of the bodies myself.
Okay. I was just thinking it might have been some connection, as there was some very shady goings on back in New York. Some weird, organised, culty thing. Cult of the Bloody Tongue, have you heard of it?
Have I? Oh. Not that one, I'm afraid.
I'm surprised Mr. Old Jackson Elias was investigating them as well. They were who got him in the end.
Yeah, I saw that in the paper.
It was not a pleasant scene to walk in on.
I can only imagine.
Sadly, the bastards got away. Anyway, shall we continue on? Let's
Sound
we're
like
going
you
to see
were ready to head
not
to
Poole,
Scotland Yard.
Barrington.
New Scotland Yard. I don't believe it's on this map, but it's along the bank of the Thames, close to the Houses of Parliament. So it's just, I'm going to say it's near location 33. I don't think it's. I can't actually see it on this map. If anybody can see New Scotland Yard in that key, please shout out. But I'm not seeing it. But I happen to know it is along the bank of the Thames, so we can say it's
Can't
around
see
here.
it,
Location,
but
yeah, around here. Location.
I was going to
33.
say you're the native Londoner, so
I know. You arrive at New Scotland Yard and you ask to see Inspector Barrington, and yes, why do you wish to see the inspector?
no, this is more just a courtesy call than anything else. We were recommended by his equivalent in New York, Mr. Inspector Poole, that he was a good person to contact.
I'm afraid he may be busy right now. Let me see if he's available. And the desk sergeant goes, "Yeah, Gov," and his voice just like changes while he's respectful to you. He just like immediately drops into the cockney. "Yeah, Gov, we've got some people here wishing to see you. Who say they're recommended by a Poole." "Right, you are, Gov. I'll let them know." "Yes, sir. Inspector Barrington will be down shortly." And And you wait
Very
a few
well.
moments, and in enters Inspector James Barrington.
Oh, he's
Very,
fierce looking.
very fierce looking. Yes, he looks very proper, very meticulous. Yes, Martin told me
Am I not?
that.
Am I the only one seeing Vincent Price?
I had a momentary flashback to Grand Budapest Hotel, if that's what you mean.
Inspector Barrington says, "Yes, Martin said you'd be. Martin Poole said you'd be coming to see me. Please come up to my office." You follow him. You follow him up to his office. It's in contrast to Edward Gavigan's office. This one, there are papers all over the place. Filing cabinets open.
But there
Desk
isn't
is a
any
mess.
safe ajar.
There isn't any safe ajar. In fact, there's no safe at all in this one. Flint, can you make me a spot hidden roll, please, as you enter the room? Just to see if you see this. Hard success. Wow. Do tick these off. Don't forget to tick these off. As you're looking around the room, and it's like sort of like the organised sort of chaos of someone who is under pressure. You see one corner of the room, which is clear of any mess. It looks like there's some. It looks like it's where Barrington's personal things are, and you see a photo on the wall of a military man.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Captain Roderick Barrington.
Now I recognise that picture, and I'm not. Hang on, I was playing a Barrington in horror at one point, wasn't I?
Yes, you were.
Is this the same person?
Yes, it is.
Excellent. Sorry, but you know when that penny just drops.
Inspector Barrington follows your gaze and says, "Yes, that was my older brother, Roderick. He served in the army and, well, he took a trip to Istanbul in 1893 and he was never quite the same afterwards. He sadly lost his life in a train crash in 1894. We never recovered the body."
Oh, I'm sorry for your loss, even if it was a while back.
Thank you, yes. Anyway, yes, I hope you don't mind me asking you, but what is your purpose in London?
As I say, this is very much a courtesy call to say we're here. As I say, Poole recommended us to come talk to you. We are investigating the Carlisle expedition. And I don't know if you heard of a Jackson Elias at all.
The name is familiar. What's your involvement with Jackson Elias?
Well, he was a friend of ours, and he was murdered in New York a few weeks ago.
I see. I did read that in the papers. I'm sorry for your loss if he was your friend.
Thank you. But he was also investigating the Carlisle exhibition before his untimely demise. And there was... how shall we put it? Mysterious circumstances. A mysterious group of people behind it, and we're wondering if that had kind of... Well, the Carlisle expedition came here, and from what we know, when Jackson Elias came here, he was not quite himself.
Yes, I only spoke to Mr. Elias briefly. We were actually discussing the murders. Oh, Mr. Linwood, I'm sorry, I didn't resonate you now. We've been discussing these murders that have been happening in London. I believe the paper calls them the Egyptian murders. Elias was, quite frankly, I don't think he was all there. He was saying some nonsense about the murders being ritual killings performed by something called the Brotherhood of the Black Pharaoh. He said it was some sort of Egyptian death cult. But have you ever heard of the Penhew Foundation?
We were there
Yes.
this morning.
Oh, well, I spoke to them. They're the most knowledgeable Egyptologist in London and possibly even in the country. I asked them about it, and I met with Mr. Gavigan, the head of the foundation, and he said yes, there was a society called the Brotherhood of the Black Pharaoh once, but they died out hundreds of years ago, and there's not been any modern day resurgence of them.
Yeah, I wonder if I don't suppose there was any mention of the cult of the bloody tongue at all.
I don't know if Mr. Elias mentioned that, but his main obsession, if I can say that, was this Brotherhood of the Black Pharaoh.
Okay. No, it was the bloody tongue that got him.
I see. More of his fanciful notions, I've no doubt.
And you see Flint raise a wry smile at this.
It's a slow nasal inhalation.
I was gonna say he was always getting himself into trouble, that one. Dragging many of us in with him. And that's more amusing to himself.
If he and I weren't making bets that we shouldn't have.
Yes, anyway, you mentioned murders. Well, I suppose, Linwood, this is your area of expertise.
I suppose you've seen it in the papers that Rag the Scoop is making a great deal of this story. What I can say, this is public knowledge, there have been 19 murders carried out over the last 3 years. And the press, the Scoop, called them the Egyptian murders because 17 of the victims were Egyptian nationals.
17 of the victims Egyptian nationals.
Yes, 17 of the 19.
That's...
Yeah, now I'm wondering, like, what were the other two? What was the deal with the other two then?
Yes,
Well,
go on.
one of them was actually my predecessor on this case, Inspector Gregory Munden. He was investigating, I don't know how far he got, but he disappeared mysteriously and never found, but I suspect, although I can't prove it, I suspect that he was one of the victims of this murder spree as well.
And the other?
Student, I believe. I'm not quite sure how he fits in. Possibly wrong place at wrong time.
An unfortunate victim of war.
Possibly.
Do you know the name?
I don't. I would have to find it. It's somewhere in these notes. I would have to find it for you.
Is that in character or out of character?
It's in character. He's like he points at his desk. It's just absolutely covered with statements, files, everything, notes, everything. He's been working. He's over. You don't need to look too far to see. He's been working on this for a long time, and it's becoming an obsession with him.
I'm assuming somewhere there's like one of those boards of all the.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
There's a big hole in it because of your the ritual skepticism.
do we have anything else to ask the inspector? I'm
You,
going
you
to...
happy with the
So-
information? Yeah, I was going to ask if you wanted anything to Tim Sullivan.
There
Very well.
was something else, now I come to think of it, that may have connected the murders together.
Hmm.
A lot of them seem to be members of the Blue Pyramid Club in Soho. I put the place under surveillance. It's a very Egyptian-themed nightclub catering to Egyptian nationals and wealthy Londoners.
That was the Blue Pyramid nightclub.
Yes.
That's interesting. Another connection to Egypt, I see.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I couldn't. I don't think anything came. I don't know if there's anything there. I had the place under surveillance for a while, but nothing really came of it. And I interviewed a few people from there,
Hmm.
but yeah, there's not much there. Not much there. Not much information there. Well, there was one person, Zara Shafiq, a spice merchant who
Get
frequents
that
the
name
club.
in.
Yep.
I caught the Zara bit, but...
She's also works with the Penhew Foundation. She recognized the Brotherhood of the Black Pharaoh, the name, but she also said that it no longer existed.
Hmm.
All I could find out was she spends a lot of time at the Blue Pyramid Club, but apart from that, I couldn't find anything.
I'm assuming... maybe I'm overstepping a line here, but as inspector on doing these Egyptian murders, has there been any weird symbology on any of the bodies?
Make me a persuade roll.
Flint's speciality.
Hmm.
Yeah. How much luck we got? Oh, you know what? We're gonna spend the 25 luck for that.
Can I persuade you to spend 30 luck to make it into a hard?
Oh, you know what? Screw it. I'm using a huge ton of it, but...
Barrington thinks for a moment and he says, I wasn't going to tell you this, but I think you're on the level and Paul trusts you, so I see no reason to think differently of you. There wasn't any symbol carved in as such, however, all of the victims, all 19 of them, they all died by the same method. This was sharp force trauma, some sort of metal spike-like instrument piercing their heart. And there's also trauma to the head and torso, as if they've been beaten with a wooden club, maybe with nails in it. I thought for a long time that it was just one person behind these crimes, but reports suggest multiple people, differing heights, some left-handed, some right-handed.
And is that similar to what we saw when we witnessed Jackson Elias's murder?
That was done by knives mainly, not by
Right.
clubs.
Different cult.
True. Yes. Oh, that's pretty brutal. As I say, we had a lot of mysterious, nasty doers when we were dealing in New York. And Flint's just going to sketch out the symbol on one of those pieces of papers just on the table.
No, I'm not seeing anything like that.
No.
I would recognise something like that.
That's fair enough. I just thought it would be best to double check. There seems to be a few similarities. That's all from what we were dealing with when we were in New York.
Oh. At this stage, I'm happy to take any help I can get. Any information you can find, I'll gladly receive.
Yes. If we discover anything, we will keep you informed, Inspector.
I would also ask you to remember that as much as you might be able to help us, please stay within the legal means. You are not the police, we are the police. Do not do anything rash.
And if it's in self-defense?
Well, then, I know the law is lenient for self-defense, but try not to let it get to that stage, I suppose.
Okay. Don't worry, we can defend ourselves, and he's just going to pat the bag on his back.
He looks kind of like narrows his eyes a little bit, but doesn't say anything. I assume you've got a license for that, sir?
Of course I do.
Is there anything else?
I think, as far as I'm aware, unless you two gentlemen have any further questions.
No.
Useful information.
Yes. As I say, we can see you're a busy man. What's that saying? Organised people are just too lazy to look for things.
He tries to laugh, but there's no heart behind it. There's like no mirth behind it, really.
We shall let you get on, and if we find anything, we'll keep you informed.
And he would have given you the address of the Blue. I suppose he would have given you the address of the Blue Pyramid Club, which I've just shown on the map. So you leave Scotland Yard back on the streets of London.
When we leave Scotland Yard, you see Flint kind of just visibly relax a little bit.
Went a lot better than I expected.
It's now probably 5:30, coming up for 6 o'clock. So you've got time for one more activity today before the day comes to an end.
I was going to say, me as Robin, I'm going to step back and let one of you two take charge now, because I feel I've been hogging the limelight a little bit tonight.
Yes. All right.
Tempted to suggest rounding it out with the scoop and saving the Blue Pyramid for next time. Well, assuming that's
Yes.
how it's going.
Maybe head to the British Museum to inquire about the Sphinx.
British Museum would probably be closed by now, I would say.
And I think we already spoke to the foremost Egyptologist.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. God, I'm trying to avoid just choosing something touristy, but
I mean, we have the scoop and the Blue Pyramid.
Yeah.
Like. Those are we have leads to those.
Let's head to the Blue Pyramid then.
All right, nightclub time. Is it a bit early for? Is the nightclub open by now?
That's a very good question.
Seems very early for a nightclub, but that's probably modern day knowledge coming in there.
You head to Soho, the location indicated on the map, and it's a very opulent-looking place. It's surrounded by several houses with names like the Moorish Cafe, the Algerian, or the Algerian, and yeah, you reach this building. That's on one side. There's a greengrocer's shop. On the other side, there's possibly a newsagent's. And above, you can see this rather opulent building. There's a stairway. There's this door that leads to a stairway with a lift at the end, and going up the stairs, you see a door, and on the front is the placard Blue Pyramid Club.
Does it look open?
No, it's closed. Well, the door is closed.
How much do we want to immediately break the please stay within the law situation?
It's tempting. It's very tempting. But Flint is going to be on his best behavior.
Yeah, keep it on the down low for a little.
Okay. What do you wish to do?
I mean,
Talk.
You knock on the door, and you are greeted by a very well-dressed doorman, very smartly dressed doorman. Good evening, gentlemen. May I see your membership cards, please?
We do not have memberships. We're actually here to make inquiries.
I see, sir. I'm afraid there is no entry without a membership card.
How might one
And
go about obtaining a membership?
You may apply for membership if you submit your names and pay the membership fee of £5. Cards will be made available to you within a couple of days' time.
Yes. Name. Yes. I am Frank Herbert.
And he's writing this down. Frank Herbert, yes, and your friends, gentlemen?
Okay, I mean, I can bring up a fake name if you like. If we're going with this route. John Ruskin.
John Rusty.
Ruskin.
Rustine. Rustine or Ruskeen?
Ruskin.
Ruskeen. And you, sir? How'd you spell that? I see, sir. Well, it is the application fee is £5 each. If you return in 2 days' time, your cards will be ready for you.
now, did you get that spelling right?
Yes, I have it down as RWRWRWRWRW.
Perfect.
Of course, with that...
He is actually going to send Flint's application through, isn't he?
I will submit these for processing right away. Good evening, gentlemen.
One of those fancy, smart dress clubs. You're not getting me in a suit.
Well, something for a future. Well, something. For
I was going to say, try
getting.
getting me in a suit. You're losing an arm.
Wouldn't dream of it.
Others have.
How many times did they try?
Only once.
Sensible.
This is my best cloak I'm wearing today. My best Jaguar.
Oh, you have multiple Jaguar cloaks.
Yeah, you'll have to get Denver to show you his. Depending on if you prove your worth, you might get one yourself.
Your
But
genius
from what I
knows no bounds.
But from what I understand, the big predators you have here are just those wee little bunny rabbits.
Yeah, I don't. When were wolves last in Britain?
It's a very good question.
You could try hunting badgers or foxes if you so desire.
Do they have any meat on them?
I don't think so.
Badgers seem a bit got a decent bit of podge.
I've never tried badger before. We'll keep our eyes open.
It is still 7 o'clock, so it's still fairly early in the evening.
Oh, I guess we should go to the scoop then, since that's the last of the three leads that we haven't investigated yet. That we can investigate.
In answer to your question, 1680 was apparently the last wolf hunted in Britain.
Very long time ago.
Okay, the scoop is location 13 on your map, so which is here. So it's quite a walk from the Blue Pyramid Club, but you would quite easily get a taxi to the scoop. And you get there, and even though it is after working hours, the lights are still on. It's this very shoddy looking building in Fleet Street. You can see third floor lights are still on. Somebody's still at home.
Say that street name again?
Fleet Street.
Fleet Street.
Like Sweeney Todd.
Yes.
It was set in
my.
London. I'm pretty
I've
sure
never
it's
seen
called
Sweeney
London as
Todd,
well.
so I wouldn't know.
Built atop the River Fleet. Built atop the River Fleet, I believe.
I've read the original story, A String of Pearls.
Anyway,
Well,
So-
let's see who's at home.
Okay. The door is open, and as you approach as you enter the door, the door is open. You enter, climb up the stairs to the third floor, and it's like one of those glass doors with a stenciled sign on it. The Scoop, editor Mickey Mahoney, and you can hear frantic sound of typing and someone shouting coming from behind.
What, like, is there a conversation going on in there, or
You can hear someone shouting quite loudly.
can I try and make out what if anything?
Probably just shouting about deadlines, and this is supposed to be like, this is supposed to be given to me an hour ago.
Oh. I guess take a knock.
Door is opened by a rather haggard-looking woman. Yes, it is late. What do you want?
Good evening. Ains and I were wanting to ask some questions about the Egyptian murders.
Who is it, Rosamond? It's three people, Mr. Mahoney. What do they want? Something about the Egyptian murders. Oh, show 'em in. Show 'em in. And you see this man, this somewhat jovial-looking man, mouth clamped around a cigar. Ah, yes, Mickey Mahoney. I know you. You're Mr. Linwood, aren't you? You came to me with some story about the Egyptian cult, didn't you?
That's right.
Yes. I managed to get some use out of that. Well, welcome. What can I do for you? Sorry to be so rude. Mickey Mahoney, editor of the Scoop. Who might you be, gentlemen?
Flint.
Tim Sullivan, at your service.
Flint and Tim Sullivan. Welcome. As you can see, you've arrived at a bit of a chaotic time. We're trying to get the morning paper in, and those idiots over there. They're supposed to have this. They're supposed to have a story on my desk for the front page half an hour ago, and it's late.
Do you want me to go give them a kick up the bum?
I've tried that many times before. It doesn't help.
Maybe this will. He's gonna open the bag.
My, that's a large-looking weapon in there. I hope you're not. What are you hunting? Are you hunting the Beast of Bodmin Moor or something, sir?
The Beast of Bodmin Moor. That sounds interesting. Tell me more.
Well, Beast of Bodmin Moor is what we call it, but we do have this story. We do have this story here that actually I remember you were here with Jackson Elias, weren't you? That Jackson Elias fella, weren't you, Linwood? Yeah, he was interested in this story as well. In fact, there's a few stories he was interested. Let me just see. digs through on his desk, and yes, here they are. He gives you three newspaper clippings. I'll just give these to you. So, anybody would like to read these out?
Well, there's 3, so maybe we can have one each.
I put the transcription at the bottom of the thing.
Always appreciated.
So, yeah. Martin, why don't you read this first one out?
Okay. Shocking canvases is local artists' monstrous scenes mock surrealists. Now collectors can buy savage scenes which rival or surpass the worst nightmares of the Great War, which are far more exotic than that grim business. Vendor artist Mr. Miles Shipley's work is being sought out by collectors, who have paid up to £300 for individual paintings. This correspondent has seen a number of the works of artist Miles Shipley and finds them repulsive beyond belief. Maidens ravish, monsters ripping out a man's innes, shadowy grotesque landscapes, and faces grimacing in horror represent only a fraction of Shipley's nightmarish work. Despite their repellent content, these works are conceived and executed with uncanny verisimilitude. Mr. Shipley's imagination is sublime, and it is almost as though the artist had worked photographs of alien places surely never of this earth. The artist reportedly is in contact with other dimensions in which powerful beings exist, and says he merely renders visible his visions. Mr. Shipley is a working-class man without formal artistic training, who has nonetheless made good where thousands have failed. Art critics say that Shipley provides an English answer to the continental artistic movement of surrealism, whose controversial practitioners have still to convince John Bull that the way in which a thing is painted is more important than what is painted. A tip of the hat to Mr. Shipley for exposing these frauds.
The second article. Flint, you can read this one out.
Police baffled by monstrous murders. Killer beast shot but still alive? Derwent Valley residents shocked last month by 2 murders and a serious assault on a 3rd victim are still without satisfactory explanation of or perpetrator of the dreadful attacks. At the time, Lesser Edale farmer George Osgood and resident Lydia Perkins were torn to shreds in apparently unrelated murders on consecutive nights. On the 3rd night, wheelwright Harold Short was nearly killed but managed to drive off his attacker, which he described as a grisly creature. According to Lesser Edale Constabulary, a rabid dog was shot and killed on the night of Mr. Short's attack. Police believe the matter to be closed. Nevertheless, local residents have subsequently claimed to have seen and heard strange beasts lurking in the area. Reportedly, the good old folk of Lesser Edale still endure sleepless nights due to bizarre wailing of the beast on the nights of the full moon. Readers of the Scoop are reminded of their esteemed journal's long-standing danger protocols and are advised that the picturesque clouds of the Derbyshire Peak District have been declared to be a zone of high danger. Residents of the Midlands are advised to remain indoors at night and report all mysterious happenings to the police and to the Scoop.
And the final article that Nikki digs up. One for you, Tim.
Slaughter continues. Reward offered. An unidentified foreigner was found floating in the Thames last Tuesday, the 24th. Another victim in the so-called Egyptian murders. Inspector James Barrington of the Yard refused to comment when asked on the Scoop. Sources exclusive to this journal state that the victim had been beaten severely and then stabbed through the heart in a manner curiously similar to other murders that have taken place over the last 3 years. The connection seems obvious, but New Scotland Yard has yet to confirm that the deaths are connected. Inspector Barrington and his colleagues appear baffled and no closer to catching the heinous perpetrator of these crimes. Londoners cry out, "When will our streets be safe?" Readers of the Scoop are reminded that this esteemed journal has a reward, now standing at £24 for information leading to the apprehension and conviction of the murderer. Be vigilant.
And Mahoney will say, Well, what do you think of that then? Some great stuff, yeah? We sold lots of copies with these.
I'm very interested in this beast in the... What's it? The Peak District?
Oh, the monster of Lesser Adale. Yeah, it's probably some wild dog that's gotten out of hand.
Maybe.
A lot of these don't lead to anything, but they sell papers. I mean, you got to give them the extra bit of vroom, the extra bit of whoosh, the extra bit of ratatata.
Would there be any reward if this beast be slain?
Possibly yes. Going rate is £24 if you can. If you can prove, we will pay that ourselves. The Skip will pay that ourselves on evidence of such a thing.
How far away is Derwent Valley from London line? Because it mentioned the Midlands.
You would be travelling out of London for quite a bit. It would take you out of London for a few days.
See, the hunter in me's waking up.
It is Lesser Dale is some 170 miles north of London. So you'd be there. So you'd be out of town for a few days.
Tell you what, make it 23, and our travel no, not 23, 20, and our travel expenses, and we'll consider it.
Well, if you're serious, Mr. Flint, sure. Just make sure you bring back a good story, eh? I've been wondering about this one.
And any further information on that beast of Bodwin?
I thought that was the beast of Bodmin.
That was the beast he was referring to. He just called it by that name just to.
do you know where we might find this Miles Shipley?
Miles Shipley. Rosamond, do you have an address for a Miles Shipley? I'm sure you've got it on file somewhere. A few minutes, Rosamond comes in feeling very put upon with a card. Miles Shipley, 6 Holbein Mews, Chelsea, London, SW1W. And I'll put this on the map as well so you don't have to remember all that. It's MS on your map.
Sorry, what's BP?
Blue Pyramid. Blue Pyramid.
Sorry, I just didn't see that a second ago, like a minute ago, that's all.
Yeah. Shame about Elias. I saw that in the paper.
Yes. You got any booze? I'd like to raise a toast.
Sure, I got some in my desk right here. Brings out some more. It's inferior Scotch. It's very much inferior Scotch to the one that Gavian had, but he still gives it you. Yeah, to Elias, to Jackson Elias. I tell you, the man seemed desperate.
Desperate in what way?
Well, he came here with you, didn't he, Linwood? If I remember. Once he saw these stories, he seemed to leave London soon afterwards. Don't know why. It almost seemed like he was being hunted or something.
Might have been something to do with one of these that spooked him.
Maybe. It seems he was onto something.
Hey, do you have any stories yourselves? You say you've travelled. You say you've been friends with them. Do you have any stories yourselves?
Oh. There was that time in Peru.
Really? What happened in Peru?
Flint will give a very censored down version. Maybe kind of skipping out some of the grislier bits and maybe some of the lesser fantastical bits as well.
Well, this sounds like it may be a story. Just I'm sure I can do something with this. Add something to this. If it sells well, I'll give you £15 for it.
I do think he did write a book on it. Peru's Darkest Secrets or something. I can't remember the name of the actual book.
No, I've heard of it. The Hungry Dead. I haven't read it myself, but I'm sure our readers will love to see this. A first-hand account of these things.
Yes, it was not a pleasant experience. But I was going to say, I'm sure they probably won't believe it, even if they do heard it firsthand from my mouth.
Well, I don't mind if they believe it or not, as long as they buy the papers. That's all I'm really interested in, to be honest.
Here's to that.
To buying papers.
Well, is there anything else I can help you find folks with?
Another drink?
Sure, and let me know if you follow up on that Beast of Lesser Adale. I'll be interested to hear about that.
No. I'll tell you what. I'll kick your workers into gear on the way out. Sorry?
We just like smack their heads together.
Waka 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 waka. Shake 'em.
Yeah.
I was going to say, whenever we leave, Flint's just going to kind of roll out and kind of just shout, "Oi!" and give a big kind of speech, and then the nearest person, he's just going to kind of bang on the table. You know, like that moment in, is it The Dark Knight with the Joker and the pencil?
Yeah. Oh, and you see, like, working, get to work, you. Oh, tap, 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 tap.
Surely you can type faster than that.
You leave.
No tea and biscuits for anyone until the work's done.
Still shouting this, you leave the scoop and return to the streets of London. And it is now night time, and the fog has rolled in. You can barely see 5 feet in front of you. And
Well, go on, Jeff.
in a moment. As you're making your way back to your apartment, you smell the fog seems to close in around you, and you think you smell something a bit weird, some strange odor.
I'm going to start getting my revolver out.
Yeah, I was going to say, Flint's not getting Loretta out, but he's certainly getting twitchy. What kind of weird smell is it?
Sort of burning hair,
Ugh.
and it seems to be getting closer, and you get the feeling that something's watching you.
Do we have any idea of which direction it's coming from?
It's hard to say. It seems to be coming from all around you.
That's...
I was going to say, Flint's just going to keep an eye out in the fog as best he can.
Yeah, how close are we to the river? Do we need to worry about accidentally falling in?
You're not that close to the river. To be
Okay,
honest.
good. That's one less thing, at least.
Has Flint been able to see anything? Like, can he
Make
use
me a-
his sense of smell to maybe try and track where it's coming from?
Make me a spot hidden.
Spot hidden.
Yeah. That was a success.
Yes.
You think you see, you can smell like a direction where it's coming from, but it seems to be moving. It's definitely seems to be getting closer to you.
Mm-hmm.
And for a moment, it seems like it's right on top of you. You still can't see anything in this fog.
Mm-hmm.
But then it seems to move away again.
Flint's going to start following it. He's gone full into hunter mode now.
Is it possible for me to see if I hear any footsteps, or or is it still a busy street?
It's still quite a busy street. Although actually, this is at the moment it's quite deserted. You're trying to follow it, Flint. Can you make me a... I think it's a track roll, isn't it? Do you have track or anything
I
like
do
that?
have track.
Hi, very good.
Quite good at track.
Make me a track. Hard
A
success.
hard
Wow,
success.
tick that off. You're following it essentially by sense of smell. It seems to move away down, and it seems to be going down an alley.
This sounds like a trap.
What do you wish to do?
Have I seen anything yet, or
Still haven't really seen anything. No.
have I heard anything?
You haven't heard anything.
Flint's gonna just kind of say, stay close to the other two.
He's like floating through the alley, just like, are you quite sure about this?
Yes, I just have a bad feeling. I want to... Flint's gonna kind of... He's just gonna have his hand on his pistol rather than his, Greta, I think it is.
Yes. Flint, can you make me a luck roll, please?
95, failure.
Ooh, very much a failure. Flint, you feel strange sensation as if something is touching you, like these fingers over your arm and your shoulder. You still can't see what's causing it. Almost as if it's trying to feel its way towards your face.
Okay. I was going to say, Flint's going to just try and back off if he can.
It still follows you. This strange feeling still follows you.
And I haven't seen anything.
You still haven't seen anything, no.
Can I try and just grab it with my hand?
You can try. Make me a fighting brawl check.
There it is. Hard success.
You almost think that you can grab something with substance, even though it still feels like there's nothing there. And as you do so, you grab it, you backing it into the light of a street lamp, and you see this strange sparkling grey cloud in front of you, with like these thin whip-like tentacles coming from it, and some of them are groping out towards you. If the rest of you are there, can you all make me sanity rolls, please?
Does Flint need to make one?
He does need to make one, yes.
I assume I just click the sanity box.
Click the sanity box, yep.
8.
Hey!
32 versus 48.
1 out of 35.
Wow! Just allow me to see what horrors this causes. Where's the... Here we are. Sanity. So if you pass, it's 1 point. Did anybody fail? No, everybody passed. Okay.
How do we
Just
edit
1 point.
the sheet?
Just 1 point of sanity. You can go to edit mode and just like knock the sanity down by 1.
Okay.
Everybody passed. And as you see this thing in the bright light, and then suddenly it's gone.
Even can Flint still feel it even when he's got a hold of it? No.
No, it's just like gone, completely gone, disappeared into the fog.
Doesn't like bright light. Good to know. Good to know.
Yes. Is the smell still there?
Smell's gone as well. And I think on that note, that is where we'll bring this session to a close.
Eh,
Fair enough.
So, we'll go around, do our stars and our wishes. We'll start with the newbie, Stanza. What was your stars and wishes? Something you liked, something you'd like to see more of?
I guess I liked getting all the bits of information to look up on. Just like, okay, we've got an artist over here, a spice merchant over there, and it's like a third thing I have to check my notes for. And so like, oh, that's what you meant. I was just thinking of considering doodling a pyramid in blue
Hmm?
on the map where the blue pyramid is.
That's not come up on my end yet.
Well, now I'm tempted to draw it anyway. There you
And
go.
wishes?
Roll the dice at some point. I'm jealous of you ticking stuff off. I'm just like, oh, I want to do it. But I feel like I'm still getting my footing a little bit because
Yeah,
you have
finding your
full
feet.
context.
Yeah. I didn't really ask for many skill rolls tonight, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. Brian.
Stars. I like the alleged statue of Akhenaten. It was very good. Obviously, a reference to a statue of Akhenaten being on the cover of the audio drama. Wishes getting down to these, getting that will get down to these murders very soon, and that I'll be able
And
to use more, say more Egyptian trivia.
and Robin.
Oh, that reference to Barrington. It was that moment of penny dropping, and I think we talked about it like previously when it's kind of come up a bit, and I was like, "Is it the same Barrington?"
I'll be
Um,
honest. I did throw that in because of that connection. It's not actually part of the story, but
right.
I just thought it made sense because you've played but that character as well.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. And I also actually enjoyed being able to use some of Flint's hunting skills for a change, rather than just going pew pew. Um, wishes. Ooh, I'm interested in seeing what's the crack with this beast. Um, as I say, that has really got Flint's kind of hunting instincts peaked up.
Mm.
Something bigger than a goosey go.
Yes.
For me, I've enjoyed the different characters you've met tonight. You've met Edward Gavigan, the smooth talking head of the Penhew
I don't
Foundation.
trust him.
Oh yeah, just like, oh, there's definitely no Brotherhood of the Black Pharaoh anymore. Just like,
Well, he would
right.
know. He should know. He's the foremost Egyptologist. um,
Hmm.
Editor Mickey Mahoney, the
The inspector.
Inspector Barrington. Yeah, there's some good ones there. And I did love the reaction to like some of the things, like especially like the Captain Roderick Barrington. That was a fun little thing I thought I'd throw in.
Mm,
Um, Wishes. Well, I hope that Ben's with us next time. Sorry you can't be
Oh.
here this evening. Hope that he's with
yeah.
us next time. I miss
Yeah.
the interplay between Ben and between Flint and Denver and like the rest of the party.
I feel when Denver's and Ben's here, Flint almost becomes a slight comic relief character.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, you made headway in the investigation. You like opened up some new avenues to look at. So we'll see where this takes us next time. This remains me to say once again, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll be able to see when we upload these videos. You'll be able to see the complete series of Master Nyarlathotep up to now, and Horror on the Orient Express, and all of our Dungeons and Dragons series. We have a Discord. Be able to talk, if you wish to join, you'll be able to talk about this and all of our games. The links are in the description below. And yeah, do leave a like, do leave a comment, and we will see you next time. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Have a great evening. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.